What is up, everyone? And welcome to episode 92 of the LunchBox Comics Draw Stream. I am the one and only LunchBox Warren, and I am the writer, artist, and creator of the ongoing series, The Adventures of Cig and Joe. The first arc, 4 issues, 226 pages, are on Global Comix right now to read for free. And then I also have on there a 31-page one-shot I did for Ninja High School, by the Antarctic Press legend Ben Dunn. I did that for his 200th issue Kickstarter campaign, as well as the 17-page proof of concept one-shot that I did for the comic book I'm working on right now. So now, if you're new to the stream, or if you're catching this on the recording, I am a comic book artist and writer, and I am currently drawing my entire new comic book, How the Squirrels Saved Longview, on my live stream. So I've been working from blank pages all the way to finished gray toned out pages. And if you want to watch the entire process, if you want to become part of the process, comment, talk, hang out. I have one of the coolest comment sections on YouTube. Just hit that like and subscribe button and join me as I go through this adventure. Everything that I do will be put onto Global Comix, free to read, as well as printed out versions that you can buy pretty soon. By the end of the year, I should have. Okay, can you guys hear me? I think I'm back now. Okay, so yeah, I'm back. All right. Yeah, I don't know what just happened. I know right before I start recording, we've been at 80 or 90 degrees today, and then a storm cold front is coming in, and the weather's already dropped like 10 degrees in the last like 30 minutes, and we might get pretty nasty out there. I don't know if that has to do with my internet. I don't know what's going on. It just blinked away. Hopefully you guys are still with me. I apologize about that. I was doing really good too, and yeah. Okay, so let me work on some things real quick. Let me share the screen again, and let's get back to going on this. So yeah, as I was saying, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. I'm making my whole comic book on here. Best comment section. Best comment section in the YouTube, and aside from the very rare technical difficulty, we usually have a pretty good time. So let's get over to the page before my internet goes out again, apparently. But yeah, it was just for some reason I just got booted off, and it shut down my entire Chrome. I had to come all the way back on. I don't know what was going on with all that. Um, yeah, weird. All right, so let's get some music going, and we'll start doing some drawing. All right. Yeah, we might be having a pretty nasty storm tonight, but I don't know for sure. Look here. I'm gonna move you here. So that way people can see that. All right. Ah, I bought that Call of Duty Black Ops 2 that was like it was like $16 for it's been ported to PS5. Hey, what's up, Orange? I played a couple rounds of that. That was some nostalgia right there. Yeah, Battlefield is it's fun. I always thought it was it could get kind of intense with as big as the Battlefield was, but it was always kind of cool with all the weapons and tanks and Call of Duty. I forgot that Call of Duty. I forgot that when you first start, you can't you can't kit your weapons, and you're all limited to starting gear until you build up rank. So that first couple matches I did, I'm using just like basic stuff, and oh man, did I get just raped. Have you guys caught the Clayface trailer? They had a new big trailer put out today. I thought so. It looks like a body horror movie. It's definitely a horror movie. It's rated R, and it's definitely body horror. Oh, there goes the thunder and lightning. What's up, Mel? Hey, Mad Mel, did you check out that new Clayface trailer? I don't even think Batman shows up in it. I think they're treating it like, from what James Gunn said, Clayface is like, in the timeline, one of the older, like one of the first movies in the timeline of the DCU. So it's almost like a prequel to the DCU. And I don't know if Batman's he's probably gonna be mentioned, but I don't think Batman's in it because I haven't cast him yet, so I don't think any of the Bat family show up, but I'm not 100% sure because it is in continuity. There was rumors that Nightwing would show up, like they cast him as Nightwing, and he might show up in there, so I don't know for sure. It does look promising. Very low budget, which is good because horror, is the hot thing right now. Yeah. Oh, so Mike Flanagan stepped away from it? I did not know that. That was kind of his baby. Yeah, I have to agree, Orange. And as long as they don't treat it like some kind of anti-hero shit like Sony did with all of Spider-Man's villains. Yeah, that one looked pretty cool. And it looks like we're going to get big Clayface too, because there's that one scene in the alleyway where it's like he's rising up. Hey, what's up, USR? Yeah, it's definitely a good time to be a horror fan. Oh yeah, it's definitely a good time to be a horror fan right now. It's there's just so many bangers coming out. Oh, okay. I tell you what, if the horror films are all as good as Obsession, I'll start watching them. There is something about goth girls that make me just want to make a mistake. I mean, Batman's probably going to be mentioned, Panda. They haven't cast a Batman yet. So, you really can't have a Batman in the movie if you don't even know who your Batman's going to be. So, I would imagine, if anything, it's going to be a mention of Batman or a shadow or something along those lines. I can't imagine them. I mean, unless they already cast the Batman and just didn't tell us anything. Which, if they did that, that would have been like one of the best kept secrets in Hollywood. They still haven't confirmed who Sadie Sink's playing. Hey, what's up, Dingus? You want me to do it, Nightmare Nerdscapes? Um, do it where this is like the time period where Batman's out training before he's actually become Batman. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. I'm starting to wonder now if she is even playing Jean Grey. There are telepathic Spider-Man characters, so it's. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Like there's been no like certified leaks. They've done a really great job of keeping her identity. Maybe it's because everyone just assumes she's Jean Grey that they just stopped trying to look for leaks on it. I don't know. It's kind of weird. You think it's hard to keep secrets in Hollywood anymore. Well, she's supposed to have telekinesis powers, so that would mean kind of like a Jean Grey. Um, if she is Jean Grey, she's extremely powerful in Spider-Man. Either that, or they're doing something to amp up her abilities, like a Cerebro kind of thing. Or at least that's kind of what they're making it look like. But we are talking about we are talking about Spider-Man, and their trailers have been misleading before. So this could be another big misleading thing. I am kind of excited though. Um, I am excited though because when you have all of this stuff ruined for you and spoiled, going into a movie with no idea what the plot's going to be is kind of refreshing. You know what I mean? Like, um, I'm almost pretty confident I know the plot of Doomsday probably pretty accurately, but I have no idea what Spider-Man's going to be about. So that's very refreshing. I'm looking forward to seeing that one in theaters. I need to know. I watched Odyssey yesterday, and when I got out of the theater, I probably would have gave it a C, maybe a C minus. The more I think about the movie, it's definitely getting up to around a B minus area for me. Like B minus B. There are quite a few things that I liked about the movie and what they were trying to do. I do think the execution didn't work as well as it should have. And the film does suffer from being kind of bland. But there are some cool things that I really like about the movie also. Yeah, the cinematography is beautiful. The way it's filmed is great. It's beautiful. The story decisions, they didn't hit as well as they probably should have, and there were some really cool decisions that were made in the storyline wise. But at the same time, I'm just kind of like, it could have been better. Yeah, I would rate. I would not rate it above Troy. I would not. Nolan treats Odysseus different than what Homer did on some levels, and there's stuff that's missing from the Odyssey story that I think he's treating Odysseus differently, and it explains why certain things were taken out that weren't translated in his movie. Certain events, but at the same time, it is interesting the take that he had on it. But I would not bring it above Troy because Troy was just a great movie. But at the same time, though, Troy is an easier movie to make than the Odyssey is. Because Troy was realistic. There was no gods involved. It was essentially Helena Troy runs off with what's his name, Orlando Bloom's character, and then Odysseus has to get Achilles into Megamedon's army, and then it's just essentially a war movie. So there's no gods involved. They even treat the legends of Achilles with sort of a tongue-in-cheek kind of way. Paris and Troy. With the Odyssey, if you take out all of the supernatural stuff and the gods, try to do it realistically, you miss a lot of the parables and a lot of the point of the stuff that's going on. So it's much harder to pull that off. The one problem with the Odyssey that Nolan did, I think, is that he tried to make it very realistic, and it lost some of the magic of the story, in my opinion. But it's not easy to do without making it look kind of corny at the same time, right? There is magic in it, but it's done in such a serious, realistic way. Like, spoilers, but there's a part where the men meet a witch, and she turns them into pigs. So, and there's the six-headed hydras in it. The Cyclops is in it. These giant dudes in armor. Like, I haven't read the Odyssey in a long, long time. I'm not even sure if I've read it. If I did, it was back in high school, and I'm like 45 right now. So I don't know all of the details, but there is mystical stuff in the movie. And they go to Hades. The dead rise up. They talk to the dead. So there's a lot of that stuff going on, but it's done in a very realistic tone, and it almost feels like it lost some of the magic of the story by making it a little bit too realistic. So to me, that might have been a misstep because it's lost some of the mysticism. But there are still some great scenes in it, though. The siren scene is amazing. But this Odysseus is definitely an Odysseus that's racked by the horrors of war. He's racked with shame and sadness. Yeah. So yeah, there are some decisions made, and maybe the problem was there's just too much to put in. Even for 3 hours, there's just too much of that story to put in. But you know, there's, in retrospect, thinking about it, I enjoy the movie now more, and when it comes out on video, I'm going to watch it again. Yeah, see, they took that out. Like, they blinded the Cyclops, but they took the nobody joke out. And, because the whole point of that, nobody, or no man, was to show a bit of Odysseus' ego. So, like, as they're leaving, he yells back to the Cyclops, because Odysseus can't just let the Cyclops, he can't help himself but take credit for fooling the Cyclops. So then when he tells the Cyclops his name, that's when the Cyclops knows who to tell Poseidon did that to him. So it shows that whole part was kind of made to show the ego of Odysseus. Now, I think the reason why Nolan took that out is because Nolan's Odysseus wasn't racked with ego. He was racked with shame and regret. At the end of the movie, there's this beautiful scene with Anne Hathaway. In my opinion, also, too, Anne Hathaway has the best performance in the whole movie. I think a lot of people phoned in performances that didn't do that well. Robert Pattinson and Anne Hathaway just did amazing jobs with their characters. But there's this whole part where Odysseus is explaining to her the shame of what he did in the war, tricking the Trojans, breaking the sacred rule of Zeus. And even, which was beautiful, and I thought the casting of Zendaya as Athena was kind of weird. I didn't like it. Until Odysseus is telling the story of what the sacking of Troy, and you see them behead a young priestess girl that's played by Zendaya. Then I realized Athena looks like Zendaya because of Odysseus' great amount of guilt he felt. So here's this young priestess girl looking up at him, pleading for help, and he ignores it, and they behead her. Now Athena is haunting him, looking like the girl that they did. It's also kind of, too, it's like Zeus's laws, you treat every stranger as if they were a god, because you never know if the gods are hiding, kind of thing. It was a golden rule variable, essentially. You know, treat others like how you want to be treated. And they literally beheaded her right there in front of him. And it was either whether she actually looks like a Zendaya or not, it doesn't matter. It's that part of him that's guilt that's haunting him, and she follows him through the whole movie. It's a beautiful scene, and it's kind of sad that it doesn't. All of this emotional impact doesn't hit until the very end of the movie, and it would have. I think if it would have been put in there more during the film, it would have been better. But the problem is that you have 2.5 hours of movie, and then all of a sudden you get hit with this emotional story that would have changed the entire impact of the first 2.5 hours. And it's kind of, I don't know, for me it kind of like if I went back and watched it now, I'd have much more of an appreciation. But they didn't do enough to show what Odysseus was going through during the flashbacks of his journey. So I think since there was some stuff that was mishandled, even though I give it the film more credit than I did when I first watched it. At first I thought the movie was kind of bland, and I still kind of do. But at the same time though, it's in retrospect, there was a lot of the rewatch will definitely hit harder. And it's not a bad Nolan film. It's just it's not his best work in my opinion, and I do think some people were phoning in their performances. I do think that there are some people that were miscast. Like, and here's my okay. So the girl who played Helen of Troy, she is an amazing actress, and she's a beautiful woman. So I had no problem with her playing Helen of Troy. The problem I have, though, is that you didn't use her. She's in the movie for maybe 3 minutes total, and she maybe has 3 or 4 lines, and it's like, I understand, like if you're going to cast such a great actress, then use her. Don't just, like, anyone could have played Helen of Troy in that movie, and it would not have impacted the movie at all. Anyone could have. She had no real impact on the story. And so to me, it was kind of a waste of a casting. It's like, if you're not going to use her, then why are you bringing in this heavyweight to play her when she doesn't even get a chance to make any kind of, like, real significant movement on the storyline? Like, honestly, she would have been better casted. She could have pulled off Odysseus' wife. She would have done great in that role. Even though Anne Hathaway did an amazing job in that role. Tom Holland was okay. I didn't like John Berthendall's casting. Odysseus' men were real forgettable, honestly. Except for his first mate. That guy did a really good job. The rest of them were just kind of like, okay, you guys are here to die, hope different ways for our entertainment, essentially. I didn't even mind Elliot Page's casting. I thought that was fine. Elliot Page worked out great. I had no problem with that casting at all. That casting actually made sense when I watched the movie. I was like, people on the internet completely overblown her casting, or his casting, completely overblown it. Like, his casting was perfectly fine. Even though when I found out what they took away by taking away Achilles, that saddened me because there's a beautiful scene in the Odyssey when Odysseus goes to Hades. He doesn't meet up with Sinu, he meets up with Achilles. And Achilles tells him essentially that he would have rather lived than sacrificed or than died in the war. And that's kind of a poignant thing, like, it's something along the lines of like, to be remembered is to not live, is not living. Something along those lines. He would rather plow a field than be remembered. Something like that. I thought that would have been a beautiful scene. But the Sinu thing worked because it played in with the whole deal. But yeah, I had no problem with Elliot Page's casting. That one was fine. That worked out fine in the story and the whole deal. I definitely thought John Berthendall's casting was bad, though. And Agamemnon's casting was weird. Like, he didn't say anything until, like, the last act of the movie. He was definitely different than with the way they portrayed him in Troy. Yeah, I mean, if you get a chance to watch it streaming, I would say definitely. I mean, don't take my weird word for it either. Like, or don't take anyone's word for it. Watch it yourself. It's definitely interesting. It's just, I think it drags at some points, and what they were going for doesn't, the message that they were going for doesn't really show through in some parts. But I will say this, it's not super woke. It's not it's not anything, it's really nothing as bad as the internet says. The haters of it are just not, they're just completely off base. Like, I don't even think they actually watched it, to be honest with you, the way some of the people reacted to that film. I kind of went into it. I was like, I'm going to see if this lives up to the hype or to the hate. And honestly, it's somewhere right in the middle. It's not as good as everyone says. Like, it's not the greatest film ever made. And it's also not even close to as bad as people says it is. I'd have to reread the Odyssey before I could ever say if it's a faithful adaptation, though. I'm only going off of what I barely remember and also what I've seen scholars of the Odyssey talking about, comparing it with the movie. I don't really know. I would have to go back and read the Odyssey to get a really good deal. Oh, don't listen to Dingus. He's one of those Hollywood page shills we hear about. He's making all those Hollywood bucks. It's not straight garbage. Yeah, it's not. I know. I want to be a shill too. Like, I want Disney to throw me money. I'll say all their shit's good if they want to. I'll be like, oh yeah, Star Wars, Disney Star Wars is great. Give me money. Hell, I got blocked on Twitter by this movie guy because I said, hey, it looks like the Odyssey's doing good because it was doing good money wise and critic score, and the dude attacked me then blocked me. Oh, give me one sec. It was a guy named Walter at Movie Dweller. He ended up blocking me. Yeah, he blocked it. He blocked me. I'm following you back, Nightmare. Is that who it is? A basement dweller? Did I get blocked by someone famous? That's awesome. No, Walter at Movie Dweller. Oh, okay. Yeah, I would definitely, I'll say some good shit about some movies if I get like early premieres and get to go to premiere parties and get swag sent to me. I'll cash some Disney bucks. Yeah, he essentially called me dumb. Then I commented back, and it's like, dude, nothing I said was untrue. The film's doing good. I go to get this bet because a movie's doing good is kind of weird. And then he blocked me. Yeah, people who get all weird about movies and stuff. Oh shoot. Alright guys, I'm gonna give you a heads up. Um I just had the lights flicker in here and we got a storm going on outside. So I'm gonna save my work, and if I do happen to go blank, you guys will know why. If I lose power. Just to give you a heads up right now. Because the lights did flicker in here. And apparently it's I hear thunder and lightning outside, so it's probably getting nasty out there. I'll try it. I'll just, if it does happen, you guys will know why. Yeah, hey Dingus, we need to see if that we can get Mad Cave to pay us since we're saying good things about their Speed Racer book. We need to get on one of those paid shill deals. Yeah, this first issue has 41 pages. And I'm on 17 right now.
Footsteps echo in the empty park, chasing shadows, falling apart. Run to the edge, don't look back. Neon dreams on a glowing track. Lost in the hope, lost in the spark. We're alive in the electric dark.
When I get this issue done, I'm going to be, get it lettered, edited, make a cover for it, and get it onto Global Comix. I'm going to work then on doing at least 5 pages of my my Christmas horror story for the deal I'm doing with Mad Mel, and then I'm going to go right directly into issue 2.
Fingers trace the rhythm, the beat. Feel the pulse, it's incomplete. Run to the edge, don't look back. Neon dreams on a glowing track. Lost in the hope, lost in the spark. We're alive in the electric dark, dark, dark.
That's a good question.
Falling through the circuits of cold extreme.
The answer is both. And what I mean by that, Panda, is that I thought I would be farther than I am now by this time, but I couldn't have got this. I can't work any faster. So it's like I originally planned to be farther than this, but I can't honestly say it's like, oh well. So even though I might want to say I'm not working fast enough, when I take an honest look at my work, I'm working as fast as I can and still putting out a high level quality product. So it's kind of both. At first gut instinct is that I'm not working fast enough, that it's going too slow. But then when I really look at my schedule and the progress I've made and how much I get done during a week, the answer would be no. It's going great. You know, it's going as fast as it can go, and I think it's my best looking stuff yet. So I can't complain on it really, you know, because the goal is speed and look, or speed and quality, and I feel like it is the best art-wise I've done in a comic book, and at the same time, even if I may feel like, oh well, I should be farther, I don't see any realistic way I could have done this any faster. So even though my gut instinct or my first kind of like thing would be like, yes, it's not moving fast enough, it's just not true. You know, I can look at myself and say, no, you're going as fast as you can, and production's going great right now. So, sorry for such a long answer, but yeah, the production's going great. I think I'm doing good. Maybe not as fast as I thought I would be going, but I realized very quickly that I can't go any faster.
pulse, it's incomplete.
So I'm not going to beat myself up for not being as far as I thought I would be. I look at it as I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm just happy with the progress that I have made.
Run to the edge, don't look back. Neon dreams on a glowing track. Lost in the hunt,
If that makes sense.
we're alive in the electric dark. Falling through the circuits, a coded stream. Reality shatters like a broken dream. Every spark a story, every glitch a scream. We're just pixels in the grand machine.
Yeah, I mean, if you can look through and be honest with yourself and say, yeah, I'm doing everything that I can, then there's no reason to beat yourself up if it's not where you originally thought you would be. If your guess was just too optimistic. You've always got great questions, Panda. I have to admit that. Love your questions. You always have good ones. Yeah, it's great. I really appreciate it. Um, I've always loved drawing, and I've loved comics since like the 5th grade when I first discovered them back in middle school. And when I was in 2016, I was driving mixer trucks for a company. I had a CDL, and I was making more money than I ever have before in my entire life, and I was just miserable. I was getting to the point where I almost had to buy a house in order to justify the amount of work I was doing. You know, you're making all this money and you're working 6-7 days a week, and I was just like, I'm gonna have to buy something in order to justify working this much, like a house or a motorcycle or something along those lines. It's easier for those guys when they have families, because your money is going towards a house and family and all those ones. I was a single guy, so I was like, I'm gonna end up buying a damn house if I stay at this job, and I just wasn't happy. So I decided that I was gonna quit and pursue stuff I wanted to do. When I first quit, I was going to make short films because I was a big fan of movies. And I learned very quickly that the problem with making movies is trying to organize everyone involved in the movie to meet up at the same time, to get the movie done, to work on it. It was like a nightmare trying to get schedules. So I was like, I always wanted to make a comic book, but I was never confident or brave enough to start doing it. It just felt like I would always talk myself out of it. So I just said, fuck it, I'm going to make a comic book. And then I started working on Cig and Joe, developing that. And then I made 56 pages worth of Cig and Joe for webtoons. Then these two guys who had a YouTube show reviewed Cig and Joe, and they essentially spent 30 minutes tearing me apart. 30 minutes tearing apart everything that I did, talking all this kind of shit. I was terrible. They were making fun of me. Chill life, that's right. It just totally tore me apart. And it was devastating. So it was at that moment where I hit this kind of like, am I going to keep doing this, or am I going to quit? And honestly, I never even thought about quitting for more than maybe 10 seconds. And I just bunkered down and I started redrawing all of issue 1. And I changed my style up a bit. And I just got into it so much that it got to the point where that was the breaking point for me, where I was like, okay, am I going to do this the rest of my life? Or am I going to quit? And it was at that point, and that point showed me that this is my passion that I just can't get over. And even after being devastated in this by guys in this review, I just pushed through it, and I was like, I'm going to do this. And ever since then, it's just been hardcore. I can't think of anything else I'd rather do. It's like a borderline like passion and obsession. Well, this was on my first webtoon stuff, Panda, and it was a little weird looking. I was still trying to figure things out, but plus too, it was one of those review shows where they always pick one person to dump on, and I got picked. So, you know, hell, one of the guys, some of the stuff he was saying, I don't even think he read the book, to be honest with you. I think he just kind of flipped through it, looked at the pages, and then just started talking a bunch of shit because he kept on contradicting himself through the entire like review. But that taught me how much I loved it. That taught me how much I wanted to do it. Even when I got devastated, I stayed at. I was like, you know what? I can't. I love doing this, and I'm going to keep doing it. And I'm going to get undeniably good at it. Yeah, it was typically shit. But that was my breaking point. That was the point where I was like, I want to do this. I want to, and it was also the point where, like, you could give me a bad review right now and tear me down left or right, and all I'm going to do is take notes on stuff that I think is good points, and I'm going to keep moving on. Like, I can't be stopped now. Like, there's nothing anyone could do to me to make me stop making comic books right now. I am so into this 110% now. After that, it was just like, yeah, no, I'm hooked. One of the guys got a hold of me and apologized. And then I actually did some commission work for him. So it had actually turned out pretty good. The other guy, I never heard from again. Heck, I wouldn't even mind if that dude who trashed me in another review. It's like, come on, take a look at my stuff now. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you think I've improved or not, or look at my stuff now and let's see if you have the same opinion of me. Yeah, that first review, the first bad review can hurt, because most of the time you don't hear anything, right? Like, you'll work for hours on your book and you won't hear anyone saying anything about it. And that's worse than a negative review. No one pays attention at all. But then when you get that negative review, it comes out of nowhere. No, I'm going to pay you to say good things, dingus. I'll PayPal you some money, and I want you to talk about how awesome I am. Yeah, the silence is the worst part. And then when you get that negative review, that first one, that some people never even get, that one is kind of a make or break moment for you sometimes, because it's just kind of like, especially if they make good points too. And yeah, it could be brutal because it comes out of nowhere, because most of the time people just don't even know you exist. And then all of a sudden here's someone with not only knows you exist, but they absolutely hate what you did. And they just trash it. And that could be kind of a make or break moment. And for me, it was It was a make moment. It motivated me. Yeah. What Joker say? What? or I mean, why would I pay for something that I get for free? But yeah, that game in review taught me a lot about myself and just taught and really reinforced how much I want to do this stuff and get good at it and be good at it. And it turned out like one of the hardest things one of the hardest things I had to go through turned out to be one of the most motivating things that I've gone through. It's crazy how that works sometimes. And one thing to remember too, reviews are not for you. The reviews are not for the creator. The review is for the audience of the reviewer. It's an entertainment piece. They're creating this review for their audience to look at and to be entertained by. So you have to take that into account. If someone is just tearing your work apart, then you have to kind of remind yourself, it's like, well, one, they're not taught that the review is not really for me, and two, anyone who's doing something for money like that kind of loses a level of credibility. So you just have to kind of like, okay, take it as it will. If they say stuff that you can honestly look at yourself and say, okay, yeah, they're right about that, then that's fine. It's not the end of the world when someone points out a mistake that you made or stuff along those lines. And the rest of it is just like, you know, whatever. I mean, they may have just picked your, like, it's like, okay, well, you're obviously not my reader base. I've learned that you're not the kind of person who likes my stuff. You gotta find that people, I'm more concerned about people who like my stuff than people who don't like it. If you're entertained by my comic book, I want to hear what you have to say, and I want to try to get you more stuff to entertain you more. I'm not worried about someone who hates me. Someone who hates me and doesn't like my stuff, well then, okay, I'm not making the comic for you. I'm making the comic for myself and for people who like what I do. If you don't like what I do, then sorry, you know, whatever. I hope you find something that you do like. Obviously, it's not my stuff, that's fine. But your opinion of me isn't going to change how I make comic books. Is it going to change why I make comic books? Is it going to change, you know, I'm not going to stop because some random internet person on the said, oh, hey, you suck. Yeah, exactly. Best way to handle all that is just to look for yourself. Look for yourself and make your own opinion. I read ISOM #1 and I thought that the artwork wasn't great. The backgrounds weren't good. They didn't use the 3D models very well because there's a trick to using 3D models, and they did not do a good job of that, which is fine. It happens. I've heard that his comics have gotten better since, so that means he learned from his mistakes and he's improving. That's all you can really do, is you want your newest stuff to look better than your old stuff. But I'm not going to believe a bunch of, like, you know, comic skaters or stuff along those lines about Eric July, because those guys just hate him. Eric July could write the greatest comic book ever created, and you're going to have some CG asshole saying it's garbage without ever even reading it. I have nothing but mad respect for Eric July and what he's done and what he's built. Now, none of his comic books that I've read so far that I've got a chance to read have I been interested in. I didn't really like Horseman. The ISO stuff wasn't my bag of tea. But that doesn't mean they're bad or anything. There are obviously other people like them. But I got mad respect for what he's doing. He fulfills. He's got a really great business sense, and he's built up a very loyal fan base. And you gotta tip your hat to that. I've been trying to build up my fan base, and what he's doing should be applauded and studied. Like, he is doing a great job on building a universe and a company out of nowhere. You know, he is a good creator or good businessman. And I'm not gonna knock his books. I mean, I know he's working hard, and from what I understand, his books are improving. That's all you can ask for. Your first book is not going to be your best. If you're doing it right, your last book should be your best. And what's the next best is the next book I come out with. It's going to end up being my best book, because I'm constantly improving and taking what I learned and getting better. But I'm not going to listen to people that hate the guy and then judge his book based on that. They're disingenuous. Drama farmers. I'm not going to take EVS's opinion of Eric July serious. The guy was talking about how great his book was when he was friends with Eric July. I thought he was cool with him. And then now he hates him, and now he hates the book. That means I can't trust your opinion on shit. Because your opinion changes based upon whether you like someone. So if you like them, you're going to tell me their book is great. And if you don't like them or you get mad at them, then you're going to be petty and tell them their book sucks. There's some people who I just downright don't like in comic books, but they got good books. And if you ask me about their book, you would never know that I dislike the person, because I'm going to tell you honestly what I think about their books. Oh yes, the Dinkus verse. Dinkus is going to take the comic world by storm. Netflix deals, the whole deal. this week from Dingus Productions, Dingus Publishing. You haven't read a Dingus. You haven't read comics. Should we write these down? These are great ad slogans for you. In Dingus we trust. You can use that, sir, and make your own shirt out of it. I'm giving that one to you. In Dingus we trust. The deadly warrior goose. Oh, very nice. Is this your first time playing Cyberpunk? Or are you just doing another run through? Okay, nice, nice, yeah. I didn't start playing it for a year after it came out. Because it came out to that horrible disaster. And then after a year, they were going to do the big update that made it playable. And I bought it when it was its lowest price. And then I just waited for like 4 months until that DLC came out that made it playable. And then that's when I played it. And I absolutely love the game. Yeah, the big 2.0 update. That is true. That is true, Panda. I always did the Netrunner builds. I like taking out an entire warehouse full of bad guys without even stepping foot inside the warehouse. You can do some OP builds on that game. Nice. Yeah. Thing is, if we ever do a movie review show, we should call it the Two Broke Shills Reviews. Two Broke Shills review movies. Or the Two Broke Shills Review Show. Oh, very nice. That's a good topic. I think my most recent guilty pleasure was K-pop Demon Hunters. Oh well, touche. Like, my guilty pleasure then would be Van Damme's movie Kickboxer. I ended up watching that movie too many times. Double Impact was good. That first Universal Soldier was really good. Time Cop. And Dan had some pretty good movies. Yeah, there was a charm to those older action movies that were they just kind of lost nowadays. Hey, what's up, Ichthus? Welcome to the show. Oh, isn't it though? 300 is a special book.
whisper secrets in the dark. Footsteps echo in the empty park, chasing shadows, falling apart. Run to the edge, don't look back. Neon dreams on a glowing track. Lost in the hole, lost in the spark. We're alive in the electric dark. Static buzzes, a signal breaks through. Skyline flickers in a glitching hue. The world's a wire, and with a fuse burning bright, nothing left to lose. Fingers trace the rhythm, the beat. Feel the pulse, it's incomplete. Run to the edge, don't look back. Neon dreams on a glowing track. Lost in the hole, lost in the spark. We're alive in the electric dark, dark, dark. Falling through the circuits of coded street. Reality shatters like a broken dream. Every spark a story, every glitch a scream. We're just pixels in the grand machine. Neon lights hum like a restless heart. City whispers secrets in the dark. Footsteps echo in the empty park, chasing shadows, falling apart. Run to the edge, don't look back. Neon dreams on a glowing track. Lost in the hole, lost in the spark. We're alive in the electric dark. Static buzzes, a signal breaks through. Skyline flickers in a glitching hue. The world's a wire, and we're the fuse burning bright. Nothing left.
All right.
Fingers trace the
So I got 2 pages inked and gray washed today in 3 hours.
feel the
So that's good movement right there. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a review with Dingus. And depending on what time we do that, I should be on tomorrow evening. Where I'll be doing this page. Well, yeah, page 18 out of 41. We're almost halfway there with the first issue. Very happy with how things are going on. Friday, I will be on the last panel where we'll be doing our top 5 superhero movies that weren't part of the mainstream superhero, like part of Marvel and Disney, or not Disney, Marvel and DC. Saturday and Sunday should be more live stream draw streams, and then Monday, me and Mad Mel will be coming together to do some Spider-Man art to get ready for the big Spider-Man Brand New Day movie coming out next weekend or the following weekend. So yeah. Thank you so much to the chat. You guys are awesome coming by with your awesome questions and jokes and comments. Everything was great. As always, my friends, be good, stay safe, and God bless.